Welcome back. I got my beautiful Benny with me on this nice summer day, and we're enjoying a little bit of time together again. We always do, all day long. That's what we do. He's my buddy, and he's always with me, practically always. So anyway, I'm going to let him get down because I know he's going to want to get down in a moment. He's got things to do. He probably wants to get into the shade. He's got his tail wagging like crazy. Are you going to stay with me for a while? Oh, okay. I told you in a previous video that I'm going to be offering some of my firearms for sale. I'm just, I've got to weed out. I don't have time in my life to devote to shooting all the guns that I own. So I've got to keep it down to a number that I can reasonably enjoy. And though I enjoy this particular firearm, there's so many more that I have. It's just one of the ones I'm going to be culling out from my herd. This is my Zastava. I think it was Zastava. I was told by somebody who had Serbian lineage. This is a ZPAP M70. I'm going to let you get down there, Benny. Got to help him out. I don't want him jumping down. This is too high for him at this age. Yeah, go find yourself a nice shady spot there, buddy. So, where was I? So this Yugo pattern AK-47 is for sale. You can see the details on my link down below, exactly where it's going to be available, and you'll get to see, I think it's 66 pictures that I put up, all detailed photos, close-ups. You'll be able to see exactly what it is. This is in beautiful condition. Why did I get a ZPAP M70? Well, Zastava, as far as I was able to determine by reading all the articles I possibly could, and investigating everything I could possibly investigate, I came up with the conclusion that this is, if not among the very best, it is perhaps the best of the AK-47s made currently. The Yugo pattern has the Zastava pattern has a reinforced, bulged trunnion up front here, very, very thick. You can see that. I'll bring it up to you right here. You can see this trunnion on both sides is very thick and heavy. Also, the receiver steel is 1.5 millimeters thick, much thicker than the standard. It also features a very, very heavily constructed stock. It does not have the tang attachment, which they determined was something that could be improved by putting a through bolt through the heavy, massive receiver, and it does give it a lot of strength, and plus it just gives it cleaner lines. It's got the classic removable, I call it a recoil diverter rather than a compensator. It diverts gases upwards and to the right and counteracts the tendency of the gun to go to the up and to the right. It was proven by the Soviets. This was a design which was used in their combat rifles in full automatic mode, and that's how, Soviet doctrine was to shoot in full automatic, with semi-automatic being an auxiliary option for the gun, which was different than our U.S. doctrine, which was to have a single shot, I should say a single firing repeater with full automatic being the option. This has got some nice features. It's got a factory mounted scope Scope mounting provision right here on the side, very, very solid. I mean, that's heavy. There's no stamped steel there. That's forged steel. It's got a nice, easily adjustable tangent, military style rear sight. It goes up to a very optimistic 1,000 meters for the 7.62 by 39. That's an optimistic number. But the standard effective range for the cartridge and for the rifle is stated to be 300 meters. I believe that. We're not talking about an MOA gun here, but that's certainly for combat effectiveness. It's a 16 3/4 inch barrel. I can't remember if that measurement is with or without this diverter, this compensator, but it's a chrome-lined barrel. I like that. You know, for a gun like this, that's a very, very nice feature. Military firearms have, for a long time now, been chrome-lined because they're just more durable. They last longer. Hard chrome is one of those metals that just lasts forever. And it also sustains a lot more firing, especially rapid firing. And unlike a lot of the AKs being sold on the market, this one comes with the actual cleaning rod, so it's fully authentic. You know, this is not they didn't cut corners to save a few pennies here and there. The front sight is fully adjustable for windage and elevation. I think I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I may have already made the adjustments that corrected the rightward impact of this gun when I was shooting it in that video, but don't quote me on that. I can't be entirely sure. Ventilated forearm, very cool firing. I mean, there's absolutely no sensation of heat coming from that at all. It's a really nice design. It's got a safety. It's got a hold open. I don't have the magazine available right now, but Zastava makes this. They make their design with a hold open magazine, so that it holds open on the last shot. When you remove the magazine, it does indeed. The bolt does indeed go forward. However, once it's back, you can also raise this. You can raise this toggle on the side right here, and that will not only engage the safety, but it will prevent that bolt from going forward until you throw it home. Everything about it is nice. It's a very pretty piece of wood they put on this gun. It's American walnut. For those of you who are familiar, you know, it's an imported firearm, but by U.S. laws, it has to have certain features that are installed in this country in order to qualify for sale. So the stock, American walnut stock, that's why it's American walnut, because that's one of the features that that Zastava USA installed once it was imported. What I'm going to do is we're going to go down to the shop, and I'm going to show you how nicely this disassembles. So for cleaning. Now, it doesn't have to be cleaned because it's been kept immaculate and it's been thoroughly cleaned, but I want to show you how nicely and easily an AK-47 cleans up. So stick with me. Well, here we are back at the bench, and a little bit closer up view of this beautiful Zastava Arms USA. You can see right here, Des Plaines, Illinois. It's a beauty. Nice American walnut, heavy-duty reinforced trunnion, heavy-duty steel receiver. Well, let's start to taking it apart and show you how easy a AK-47 breaks down. And I'll show you how easy this one breaks down in particular. Take note of this little button right here, this cross bolt on the left-hand side. Press that in, and to press this button, release the cross bolt, and that button will stay in place. Now, most AKs, you've got to push that in as you lift up the dust cap, and getting it back on can be somewhat of a headache. You have to slam that dust cap back on, and it's not the easiest thing to do in the world. This one here, just lift it straight up. Look at that, 2 fingers, thumb and forefinger, lift it straight up. You can see how clean this gun is. The dust cap is absolutely immaculate inside. Now, remove this by pushing straight forward and allowing it to slide straight out of the bolt carrier. And now the bolt will hang up a little bit on this hammer. You can just simply thrust it back vigorously and it'll come right by the hammer and remove it. That's all there is to it. This keyway right here, this is a keyed system that goes into this opening at the top of the receiver. You can see it's cut away. So that's how it drops in. We'll show you how that goes. But look how nice and clean that is inside. Just as shiny as can be. This gun is, like I say, only had 140 rounds put through it since I've owned it. And you saw 40 of them yourself. If you haven't, then turn to that video. And you can see the through bolt, the heavy-duty through bolt that secures the stock in place. Really nice. And double wound springs, chrome-lined bore and chamber. Now, the bolt on a AK is simplicity itself. Just simply rotate it straight out. It just about falls out, just all the way out until it comes out straight in your hand, just like that. To put it back in, just rotate that lug, that tapered lug, straight into this raceway right here. And that's all there is to it. We'll set that aside. And I'll show you how nice and clean this gun is. I mean, it's just as nice as can be. Machining is done beautifully. Everything about the gun is top-notch. The carrier piston is just, it's not burned. Everything is in great shape, of course. Now, removing the fore end, the top of the fore end is very, very easy to do. AKs come with a little lever right here. This one has a little lever. Just engage it on the left side of your carrier. In other words, opposite the pull handle. Just engage it in this slot right here. Place it in and use that as a lever to wind that straight up out of the way. Lift this straight up because that's how this is keyed in place. Lift it straight up and you'll see how the top hand guard comes out. If you don't lift it straight up, it's going to hang up because it's just going to lock in place. Now you've got your gas tube. Cleaning this is simplicity itself. For one thing, having natural black walnut, American black walnut, you can use mineral spirits. Don't use anything that's got colored agents in it or anything like that. Mineral spirits, the other name for it is paint thinner. So you can use standard paint thinner and mineral spirits to just simply douse this right out and use a 20 gauge swab. It'd be like this one here, this is a 12 gauge swab. Use a 20 gauge shotgun swab and go in there and clean it out real good with solvent, and you're all set. And also up front here, this is where the gas port is located. The gas port is drilled at the top of the barrel and simply drives that bolt back by puffing gas through this tube right here into the against the bolt carrier. So that's all there is to it. Cleaning it up is no difficulty whatsoever. What's nice about Kalashnikov's design is that there's room from here to here. This is a straight passage. You can use a cleaning rod from the breech end. You don't have to do like with Garands and M1As and M14s by cleaning it from the muzzle end. You can clean it from the breech, which is really nice. Let's put it back together, and I think I pretty much covered all the details. Again, I'll just give you a really close look at what's going on inside there, how nice and clean it is, the trigger mechanism. Make sure that you have your thumb in the way to grab that, to keep it from slamming out. That's it. That's all there is to it. Got a nice positive safety which locks the trigger, locks the hammer, I should say, and by locking the hammer it cannot fall. So let's put it back together. Reinsert the bolt. Again, there's a tapered section of the bolt right here. It's a little bit different than the other one. This is a more square, oblong shape. This is a tapered one that fits into this raceway. You can apply some standard oil. This is not a high temperature area, so you can just use a drop, that's all. Just a drop of oil in this carrier to help. There we go. Allow that to work back and forth a few times. You don't want to have excess oil in there because you don't want to have oil traveling into the chamber. That's the last thing you want to have. That just gives it a little bit of lubricity. That's all it is. And if you have any extra drizzling out there, make sure you wipe it off because, again, you don't want to have any oil seeping into the chamber. That's very bad news. It spoils the relationship of the brass to steel, where the brass is supposed to adhere to the chamber of the firearm to prevent bolt thrust. So do it the right way. With the bolt all the way in, turned all the way in, just insert this into the top tube, the gas tube, and slide this forward. Hold it straight down now. Push it straight down with your thumb. That's all you have to do into this opening. And once you got it over the hammer, just slide it forward. That's all there is to it. Just nice as can be. Slide your spring in, and right here, this section of this just drops right into place. Don't push this side bolt yet. That side bolt is going to be there for you to. Oh, one thing we didn't do. We didn't put our gas tube back in the way we should have. So you can just simply slide this straight back vigorously. Yeah, we got a chance to do it one more time, show you how easy it is. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to take the gas tube, reinsert it. Did I mention that this beautiful cotton Soviet-style sling, it's not a Soviet made, it's Russian made, I'm sure. This is a fairly recent vintage. Use that slot again on the lever and just rotate that straight down, and that engages that dimple on the side right here. So let's do it one more time. I didn't get it all the way down. There we go. So that's how you engage that lever to hold the top hand guard, and the gas tube in place. So we'll repeat this process of engaging that tapered part of the bolt right in place like that. Slide it into the gas tube. Make sure that you engage the back of the receiver. Press it down with your thumb until you've cleared the opening, and you're home. Slide the spring in, and just simply catch it forward. Don't depress that thumb bolt, that side bolt. Just push this into the top. There's a slot right here in the front. Make sure that this goes in between the barrel and that slot. Just lay it on here. No karate chops. Just lay it on here and hold it down with your thumb as you push this button. Watch what happens. Isn't that neat? I just love that. That's one of the neatest things about this gun. I'll tell you, they really had their act together when they designed that. So there you go. I love it. Great gun. I'm sad to give it up. I just love shooting it, but there's so many guns that I have that I just don't have time to shoot them all, and I had to make decisions, and this is one of the ones that has to go. So there you go. Russian sling and all. Doesn't get any better than that. It's a $25 sling. It's a genuine part of this rifle's heritage. So, and also too, I didn't make mention, but for anybody who likes to do different things, I mean, this stock can be replaced with any number of stocks that are made specifically for this. Adjustable stocks. You can get different furniture for it. You can do anything you want. That diverter on the front can easily be replaced with a can. Anything you want to put on there. It could, a regular recoil suppressor can be put on there. Anything. So it's ready to go for your own enjoyment and pleasure. So smooth action, nice. The trigger, really nice. It comes back to a wall. I'm bringing it back to a wall right now, and then the let off is a crisp let off. It's hard to measure it because when it comes back to that wall, if I try to use my trigger gauge on it, it can't find that wall. I mean, my finger can find it, but it comes back to that wall, and then all of a sudden it just lets off. It's like a pound and a half let off after you get to that wall. It's really nice and controllable. Once you get the feel of it, it's like a target trigger. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and again, my Patreon donors, thank you so much. We're going to be doing some shooting. I keep promising you, but I've got to get some of this stuff out of the way and unload some guns, and we'll get out and do some shooting soon. So take care. Thanks for watching, and God bless.